end zone. He's got Simpkins caught in for the touchdown. Deshaun Simpkins with the snag.
Looking up to Sims Marshall. Home run down for Jalen Marshall. He's got a touchdown.
Along with Archer's uncle, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Week 7 set to unfold here from Beckett Ridge. Here this evening, it is homecoming as well. A festive event here tonight, and we got a hell of a game. 6-0, Lakota West, 5-1, Mason Comets.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those games. It's going to be, a statement win for either team who wins this here tonight. Obviously, I think Mason coming in here has a lot more to prove here than Lakota West. Can Mason hang with the big dogs? Are they for real? You look at their schedule early on this year, it was pretty light, let's call it that. And obviously Lakota West has had a little bit tougher of a road to go and has beaten some teams mightily soundly. One-loss Princeton team, Fairfield. You look at those games compared to what Mason's done. So this is going to be a true test for the Comets. If you're Lakota West, though, this is one of those games where you can't let Mason hang out there. We were talking pregame, and it was almost like this is that quintessential, Ohio State versus a 5-1 Iowa team. And it's one of those games where if you let Iowa hang around, they're going to win. They always do. But if you come out there and you start fast and score early and often, the theme from last week is going to resonate here this week as well. You got to get up on them fast if you're Lakota West and work the offense.
Well, early and often in scoring, and that's part of your keys to the ball game as we zero in with Zilch.
Well, for sure, for Lakota West, score early and often, and then limit distractions. It's homecoming, okay? We were talking with Coach Bolden down there. You could tell it. They were on national TV earlier this morning. We'll get more to that, I'm sure, as the broadcast goes on. So there's a lot of distraction with homecoming week. I've coached through homecomings. It's not exactly fun for the coaches because you're trying to keep your guys, especially with a team like Lakota West, how good they are, you're trying to keep their blinders on and keep them focused on the prize. For Mason, I feel like a broken record because we've done so many West games where you got to keep the offense off the field. You have to keep Mitch Bolden. You have to keep all those weapons off the field. Now, one thing I will say for Mason, we were noting this, they are very good on third down, almost 45% on third down and on fourth down. So, that is good that they're able to complete those, and that tells me that their second down plays are getting them into those third and manageable spots, that they now can say, hey, if we get 4th and 1, we're going to go for it because we've had that much success. So right there, those are my keys to the game right now for this one here, Jeff.
Under the backdrop of the fight song for Lakota West, which you heard on the Today Show this morning, we will get into that a little later on. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups here in this ball game. First, for visiting Mason, the Comets are 5-1, 5-0 in the Greater Miami Conference. Brian Kastner in his 13th year as the head coach, 79-53. His quarterback we expect tonight is Quentin Kaler, 6 foot tall, 225 pounds, a senior, 23 of 35 this year for 65.7% passing, 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, a rating of 135.9. Shelvin Hibbett will open up that running back. Cale Jordan to H-back. The wideouts are Jack Ryder and Braden Greer. Quinn Brown is a tight end. The tackles tonight, Ben Fosnot and Ben Cravens. Bryce Falk and Chase Hacker are the guards. The center is Nate Silva. When Lakota West is on defense, they'll have this group under Tom Bolden in his 4th year at the helm, 32-7. In his 16th year overall, 164-28. Lakota West in with a record of 6-0, 5-0 in the GMC. Gabriel Flores is the left end. The nose guard is Kofi Bovey, and Elijah Davis is the right end. 4 linebackers, Jacob Asbeck, Micah Markley, Mike Brandcamp, and Tabron Benny Powell. Drew Minnick and Josh Fussell are the corners. Malik Hartford and Ben Minnick are the safeties. When Lakota West is on offense, they'll have Mitch Bolden out there at 6'1", 202 pounds, a senior, 67 of 119 passing for 56.3%, 1,035 yards, best in the GMC, a league best 13 touchdown passes, 3 interceptions, and a rating of 160.4. Wades Gonzalez is the running back, and 4 wideouts that we expect to see start out the ballgame: Trent Lloyd, Malik Hartford, Ben Minnick, and Brennan Remy. The left tackle is Tony Curtis, Mikey Gertz, the left guard. The center is Alex Key, Johnny Simpson, the right guard, and the right tackle is Caden Fletcher. On defense for Mason, it's a 4-3 defense. Bryce Falk and Malachi Reed are the defensive ends. The defensive tackles are Caden Davis and Aaron Spears. as we see Lakota West come and take the field. The linebackers are Nick Sailors, Jake Bates, and Kai Wolfark. If we don't see Bates tonight, we'll see Tyler Dalton in the middle. The corners are J.C. Deaton and Stephen McCalmont, and the safeties are Weston Simmons and Sean Crookerberg. Tonight's officials, the referee, my partner's favorite name, Jerry Einsfeld. The umpire is Jeff Butler. The line judge, Aaron Sigmund. The linesman is Matt Johnson, and John Molesky is the back judge. Game time temperature, 68 degrees. Winds northeast at about 10 miles per hour, though as you and I are looking from our vantage point in Becker Ridge, we're not seeing much of anything, and 38% humidity. So I'll take a break there, Kev, and just kind of say that there is a pageantry to homecoming, and it's a very big day, especially for Lakota West that started out with the Today Show. Yeah, started out, that's big for them to be, nationally recognized. I know the marching band, I think, was in the Macy's Days Parade a couple years ago, so that's huge for them. But, obviously, Coach Bolden, you kind of saw a look on his face. It's like, that's all well and good, but we got a football game to play, and that's where his mind was, and that's where it has been really since last week. We noticed one thing, they won pretty handedly against Hamilton the last time that we saw them, 38-0, but he was not exactly a happy person after that game. He saw that there were mistakes made, and there were. There were certain things that Lakota West did not do well, and I don't think they played at their necessary top level. I don't want to take anything away from Hamilton, but I'd say they probably played down to the level of their opponent a little bit, which happens sometimes. And so I think Coach Bolden really, we saw him getting on them on the field, actually, after the game, which we've never seen before. Usually he's back in the locker room. So I think that he, really put a point of emphasis that this is a big week. We have to be focused. And then on the Mason sideline for Coach Kastner's team, right now, you're at that point. Your defense is playing lights out. They're one of the top defenses in the city right now. But you also have in the back of your mind, you go, we have not been quite tested yet. And our offense it's kind of good, and it's not good. We got a new quarterback now. We don't, they don't quite know what to do on offense sometimes, but at least they got one half of the game solidified in their defense. All right, we'll talk about Mason here at the quarterback spot in a bit, but the last time out, it was number 2, Lakota West, pitching its second shutout in 3 weeks, blanking Hamilton, as Kev had mentioned, 38-0. Mitch Bolden accounted for 5 touchdowns. And then Mason ran its winning streak to 5 last week on the road against Lakota East, 21-6. Quentin Kaler ran for a couple scores, threw for another one. And something's got to give here tonight, Kev, because on one side, a 5-game winning streak, and the other side, Lakota West is perfect and the number 2 team in the state. Yeah, right now, again, I think that for Mason, this is really going to show can they stack up with the big dogs. And, they have had some down years as of late. They're back into it now. They've got a good squad, a great defense, and ready to rock and roll. Great night, great crowd, great sunset. Here we go, Jeff, week 7. Let's get it. Lakota West has won the toss. They've deferred to the second half. They'll kick to the south end as Mason will come north here in Beckett Ridge tonight. Homecoming in week number 7 here from Beckett Ridge. And away we go. This one will go into the end zone, 5 yards deep, touchback. As we had mentioned, Quentin Kaler was the quarterback last week. He came in relief of Larson Brown, who's been the regular starter, but Larson's had a couple of injury issues, and we're waiting to see who will actually start for them tonight. If you can see us in the press box, and we know that you can't, Kevin and I both have our eyes shaded and trying to see who's actually running things, and the quarterback will be Kaler. Sheldon Hibbett. I said Shelvin Hibbett will start at tailback. Actually, it is Brown, believe it or not. It was 5, Larson Brown, who actually handed the ball off, and good yards on first down. Oh, he hit the hole really hard there. It busted wide open. Picked up a nice first down. Shelvin Hibbett averaging just under 5 yards a carry. 368 yards on 75 carries. He's got 4 scores this year. And on first down, they picked up 10, so move the chains that fast. 1st and 10. We saw two in Kaler out there. He's also a tight end, and that's where he's going to, I believe, start tonight. Twins to the bottom of your screen. And the pitch out, it goes to Hibbett, and great defense. I mean, outstanding defense by Lakota West. Mike Brankamp, the linebacker, with 12 solos a week ago, got the first stop.
I mean, my goodness, the performance he put on against Hamilton last week was just unbelievable. I mean, 12 solo tackles in one game, that's wild. I mean, and that just shows you how good this Lakota West defense is. I mean, they've been, for really the past 2 years, just been unstoppable at the defensive front. And they really haven't shown too many signs of weakness throughout the year. They've been rock solid for the Firebirds.
A loss of 3 on the play. It's Brown with Kaler in motion, the tight end, kind of an H-back here, and Hibbett off the right side, stacked up, back to the original line of scrimmage, out to the 30-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd and long. Larson Brown, by the way, 36 for 56 passing this year, 64.3%, 501 yards, 3 touchdowns, an interception, and a rating of 153.5. Neither quarterback runs for distance in this offense. A lot of dropping back and short gainers. And when Kaler's in there at the quarterback spot, he will go in goal line situations from the QB spot.
You know, it's really kind of your prototypical kind of pro-style offense that they're running right now.
3 wide, 2 to the top. Brown looking that way. He'll be dropped. Jacob Asbeck, the first to get there, along with Mike Brankamp.
Jacob Asbeck just adds another sack to the tally right there. They tried to run a rub route. They tried to bring 2 receivers across each other. You know what the issue with that is, Jeff? That takes a long time to develop. You got to have great pass protection. Your quarterback's got to sit back there and have the time to wait for those receivers to get through the mesh point. And unfortunately for Lakota West, they were able to get there. Jacob Asbeck off the edge. He's been doing it all season long. Man, I tell you what, this kid's something special off the edge.
A loss of 9, and here they come. Fair catch called for right at the 50-yard line by Brennan Remy, and they'll go to work, Lakota West will, right at midfield.
Well, that's exactly what you needed to do if you're Lakota West. I think that's going to be the key. We talked about the conversion ratio on 3rd down for Mason, and what that tells me is you got to force them into those 3rd and long situations that are hard for them to convert. They're very good at converting. So that tells me you got to stop them on 2nd down. You got to force them into situations and make them uncomfortable, get them out of rhythm, and get them off schedule offensively.
Giovanni Wilson gets a start tonight as they go 5 wide to start, 3 to the top side. Wilson is the furthest away from you. Back to pass is Bolden, and he finds Trent Lloyd for a first down.
Great job. They wanted to hit the home run. They were looking downfield. Great play design to have an intermediate route there because he had a guy right in his face. Great job on the check down route. Dumped it off and was able to get a great yardage there to Trent Lloyd, who's always open, man, just like a New York diner.
19 yards on the pickup. Lloyd gets his 15th reception. He's now got 189 yards this year. 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line with 8:53 to go here in the opening quarter. Mitch is back to pass, and this time he'll find Remy in space. He broke away momentarily and finds himself out of the 20-yard line. So the team's leading receiver and the conference's leading receiver gets his 26th reception of the year. He's now at 412 yards.
I'll tell you what, that was another one of those quick earhole throws from Mitch Bolden. He does that so well. He gets the ball up and out quick, and that's why I was able to strike Remy right there and let Remy do his thing, and he did. He was able to pick up a couple extra yards after the hit. So a great job by Mitch Bolden as he continues to develop himself throughout the year.
Triplets to the top side. Bolden in the gun by himself with time. Looking deep middle, and now flushed and sacked. Drop for a loss. Aaron Spears picks up the sack.
Well, you knew it was going to happen. This defense is too good for them not to get pressure in there. You know what I think on that play right there? They had great coverage downfield, which forced Mitch to run around there a little bit. If he would have gotten the ball out quicker, that probably would have been more preferable there in that situation for him. But, hey, this is a tough Mason defense. You know, you're not going to hit every home run on them. They're going to get pressure on you all night long. You got to be ready for it.
Aaron Spears is 5'11", 220 pounds, a senior. That's his 2nd sack of the year. A loss of 5 as they motion Wilson to the top side, and a roll right for Bolden as he holds on to it and now finds a little daylight in the middle and gets some positive yards to bring up 3rd down.
Well, if you're Mason, this is exactly the situation you want to get them into, okay? You didn't let them score on the first play downfield. You didn't let them score early. You force them now in here into a third and medium situation, which, let's face it, that's not exactly the situation a third and 15 situation. So you've backed them up even further now. So, again, this is exactly where you want to be if you're the Mason Comets.
Lakota West is 52% on third down this year. Mason has only given up a third down conversion 29% of the time. And here they come on Bolden, and he's up the middle dancing, and he has nowhere to go. Stacked up and cleaned up by Spears in the middle. But the first one there was Caden Davis, the other defensive tackle. And it'll be a field goal opportunity here in the first quarter to get scoring underway.
Well, again, I said the play before, this is a very, very tough Mason defense, and they're going to get pressure on you all night long. What I see them doing up front is a lot of twists and a lot of stunts, so they're going to have to talk about that on Lakota West sideline.
Tyler Bond from 45 yards out, the lefty puts it up, pinwheeling to the goal line and through. 3-0 Lakota West. On a 45-yard kick by Tyler Bond to get the scoring underway here tonight with 6:19 left to go in the first.
Well, hey, any drive that ends with a kick and points, that's good. That's what you want if you're Lakota West. Right now, the offensive line has got to get together and really take a look and see what's going on in the front there, because you had a good job there the first 3 plays, and then all of a sudden they started twisting and stunting on the front and started giving them some looks maybe they hadn't seen before, and that's where things started going the wrong way if Lakota West. So they'll take a look at the film on the sideline right now. How about that? They got iPads on the sideline now. I never had that now, That's like NFL style. The colleges don't even have that. I mean, my goodness gracious. They got drones overhead now. It's unbelievable the technology they got here in high school football nonetheless. But still, they'll take a look at it, and they got to figure out how do we address those stunts and what they're doing defensively.
Drive. Soaked up 3 minutes off the clock, went 25 yards. It got cut off at the 25, but Tyler Bond was there with a 45-yarder to get the scoring underway. 3-0, and Bond to kick. Pinwheeling to the goal line, and this one goes 5 yards deep. So if you remember a week ago in regards to Bond, as the night wore on, it felt like he had some shorter kicks to the north end. And we weren't outside. We had the benefit of being in a booth. But you almost felt like the wind played a little bit with that. And the wind or the breeze tonight might be a little bit more favorable to the south.
Well, yeah, right now I'm just looking at the flag here on the north side of the stadium. There's nothing. It's nil right now. So, wind will definitely play a factor. I can say I was at the Bengals game last night. It definitely played a factor in the kicking game. A lot, actually. So it'll be interesting to see if that doesn't kick up here as we start to get that hurricane kind of moving up the coast here. We're supposed to get some of that action here later on tonight. So that might play a factor later on in the game.
Larson Brown, the deep hand. Hibbett has nowhere to go.
So it'll be an interesting game. We've seen now the Mason Comet defense and what they can do. We've seen what the Lakota West defense can do. Both coaches now are looking at everything, and they're trying to figure it out offensively. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Twins to the bottom of your screen. And another hand, and it's a little counter back to the running back. And he's got good yards on that sideline. He'll bring up 3rd and short.
Well, loss contained there on the left side for Lakota West, and this is exactly what Mason wants to be in now. These third and manageable, 3rd and short situations. That's what they're so good. In fact, I think they gave him the first down on that.
So he was close, and they got it. Shelvin Hibbett is 6'1", 207 pounds, just a sophomore. Had 45 yards last week on 9 carries against East. He's off to a little better start tonight against Lakota West. So a pickup of 10 as we melt the clock down to 5. Greer in motion at the bottom of your screen, and another run play. And one of the things that we did know about Mason coming in is if they're playing well and they're playing their best, they're converting at a high rate on 3rd down, and they're also chewing up the clock to the point of like maybe perhaps 30 minutes of ball game.
And that's exactly what you want to do. Hey, listen, they have not been an offensive powerhouse or juggernaut, let's say. So what do you do in that case? Hey, I'm going to lean on our defense. We're going to hold on the football, and we're going to ground and pound our way through these games. And that's what they've done the past couple of weeks. Does that formula work against Lakota West, number 2 team in the state? I don't know. We'll find out here in about an hour or so.
Dylan Lane, the load wide out to the bottom of your screen, and now they get Braden Greer that way, and they throw over for Greer, and it's nearly picked off. That one had eyes on it. Malik Hartford nearly came up with a dandy.
I'll tell you what, he jumped on that about as good as I've ever seen a defensive backfield player jump on a football. I just thought it was going to be complete. I didn't think he was going to get there in time, but he turned on the jets, and man, he was about a half a step, maybe even shorter than that, from getting a pick 6 right there. Wow.
3rd and 8. Mason this year, 41.5% on 3rd down. Now the opposition against Lakota West having a harder time on 3rd down. 21% on 3rd down this year. So on 3rd and 8 from the 32, Brown waits for it, he rolls right, and now it's a little counter back to Sailors, who has room and is close to another 1st down. So a nice little counter play back to the left behind the left tackle, Ben Fosnot.
Counter plays are so – I love them. I mean, they're some of the best plays you can have, and they're going to give them the 1st down here now. So, I mean, you get the defense thinking you're going one way, and especially in a defense when you start running that way and you get them in their mind kind of trained, hey, they're going to go there. All of a sudden you come backside with it. Nothing better for an offensive line coach for sure.
So Sailors, who saw a lot of starting time last year, playing linebacker, not seeing as much time running, but is a special athlete on that side when they need yards. Brown back to pass, will throw, the home run down for Greer. He cannot get it at the 30-yard line. Tremendous defense by Lakota West.
Wow. That was very impressive by the defensive backfield right there. They ran what we call a hitch and go, basically. So they're going to come down, they're going to act like they're going to turn around and run a 5-yard hitch to try and get that defensive back to hesitate and create spacing, and then you hit the home run. The backfield, the defensive backs weren't fooled there for Lakota West. Unbelievable coverage. Malik Hartford there with the safety help over the top.
And it was Josh Fussell who had one-on-one with Greer who got the poke away on that 50-50 ball. 2nd and 10. So far, Larson Brown is 0 for 2 passing, and it's a run play back to Hibbett, and nothing going as he was running towards Elijah Davis.
And I'll tell you what, you're not going to go very far doing that. I think you and I were going to say about the same thing right there. You're not going to go very far running into him. The middle of the field right now has just not been there for him, really in between the tackles. Where they've had successes in the counters in the stretch game, it looks like we got a stoppage here.
With 3:22 left to go here in this first period, Miami University Regionals is accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. Along with Uncle Kev, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us on Chatterbox Plus tonight. And I know that the platform says our game of the week is Moeller. And who are they playing again tonight?
The Elder Panthers.
Panthers.
That one team from the west side, as I like to refer to them sometimes.
I'm going to argue and say this is our game of the week tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, and this is the best thing about Chatterbox, is that you get the best of both worlds. You get the GCO game, and then you got an amazing matchup here right now against 2 really hot teams. You got Lakota West undefeated, top in the state. You got Mason, who right now has really found themselves and they came into themselves really from last year. So, again, Coach Cashner's done a great job developing this program. So you have both teams that have a lot to prove here tonight, and this is going to make for a great matchup.
3rd and 9 from the 41. The last time they had 3rd down, they converted on a little counter play to Nick Sailors. Brown will pass. He looks long. Down the sideline. Into double team coverage. And it is picked off out at the 24-yard line.
It was Ben Minnick. Ben Minnick came all the way over. Just read that almost like an outfielder. That's what you got to do with those high passes. Great job by him. And then, again, another strike for Lakota West backfield all night long. I mean, so far here in the first half, they've just been locked down defensively in the backfield. So that's fantastic. Now, this is an opportunity for the offense. You got to get points here, and this is where you want to strike fast. Strike early and often and fast. Well, he didn't strike early, got 3 points, but now you got to strike fast here on this drive.
3-0 West. Bolden will call it from the gun. And a run play on the end around. Coming to the near side, out to the 29-yard line. So a pickup of 5 on first down for Trent Lloyd, who has seen some running back duties here this year, a little bit more so. He saw some runs last year, but it's more in important spots here this year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been just another wrinkle into this offense, right? Another player getting into a position to help this offense move down the field. And so, he's really taking on that kind of role as a hybrid back, receiver type player.
A trio to the top and a single to the near side. The split end to the near side is Lloyd. On 2nd and 5, Bolden's back to throw, and he throws, and it's Lloyd with a first down all the way up to the 45-yard line, a pickup of 16, Trent's second catch of the night.
Mason playing back in zone, and Lloyd just sat down and found the hole in the zone, and that's what you got to do. He had recognition to recognize where that was, sat down. Bolden also had to see it as well, so great timing by those two, and another first down for Lakota West.
Pickup of 16, 1st and 10 from the 45, and Bolden wants to go quick. And it's a run play, and nowhere to go. Wow. Kai Wolflerk, the linebacker, first one in. It's like, how do you do to the running back?
Yeah, he met him at the front door right there, and man alive. But that's what Mason does. That's what they've done all year long. They're tough up front. And Coach Bolden recognized it. He said, hey, listen, this is a tough defense. This might be one of the tougher ones they've gone against so far this year. So, they're going to have to figure some things out there. But, yeah, wow, that was quite a hit.
Lakota West going in a stack to each side, twins on each side. Play action, looking right, and now Bolden in trouble, flashes out of trouble, and now we'll try to gain back as much as possible. In to clean him up was Jake Bates, but the first one in, Caden Davis.
Well, I'll tell you what, I watched that whole play there, and, as a former offensive line coach, I'm going to have to place that sack actually on Mitch Bolden. He had 2 receivers open. He could have easily dumped it out. He's got to get the ball out of his hands quicker. Against a tough pass rush like this, like they're going to see all night long, you got to get the ball out of your hands quicker and not get in these 3rd and long situations, which is where Lakota West has never been comfortable all year long in these type of situations right here.
Under 30 seconds of play. This may be the final play of the quarter. So we melt the clock down to 20. Bolden to throw, and they'll step up, and he's in trouble, and he is dropped after a few yards. And again, that big front end to stop him, Bryce Falcon, Aaron Spears.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, as we head to the end of the first here, that was not a good series there by Lakota West to finish out. We'll have to see what they do in the second half.
3-0 in favor of the Firebirds. They're in a fight here in this one, here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. A punting situation as we switch sides of the field here at dusk here in Beckett Ridge. 3-0 Lakota West. It's Minnick to throw, and actually he's on the run. He's got a first down, but a flag is on the play as well. So we had a flag downfield from where he was at, and we'll have to sort this one out. Tonight's official is Jerry Einsfeld.
I think it's on Mason. I think it's going to be, yeah.
Wow.
It was a holding on Mason, and what I saw was Drew Minnick, number 10 here on this side closest to us. The defender for Mason was actually holding Drew as Drew's just trying to take off and take it with him. He was holding him back. So that's what they called there. That referee was looking right at it, so good job there by Jerry Einfeld's crew. And hopefully it's not Cosmo Kramer and George Costanza. Cosmo Kramer as a referee. Now, that would be an episode. That would be funny.
Well, if he was an actual referee, as we're seeing Jerry down in the white hat pointing and walking us through it, You would imagine a call with him on a mic would finish with a yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Oh.
So they needed 16. They got 16, and they'll keep the drive alive. 1st and 10. Triplets in a pyramid to the top side and a throw to the near side. And it goes to Lloyd, who escapes a man out to the 25. A tremendous elusiveness to get away from the first tackler, and down the field, Caden Davis, it took him another 15 yards and moved the chains. 1st and 10.
Be your own blocker, BYOB. That's what you got to do. Get the ball in the athletes' hands and let them do what they do best, and let them be athletes. That's exactly what that play design was meant for right there. Get it into Trent Lloyd's hands and just let him do it. He broke 2 tackles right there, hit the circle button, spun out of another one. So, again, great job by the Lakota West offense in that play design to get that ball into the athletes' hands.
8th play of the drive with 11:22 left to go till halftime. Bolden back to throw. He has time, and now looking, still looking, now throws for the end zone. Is a jump ball touchdown! To the back of the end zone to Brennan Remy.
Wow! What a play! What a throw by Mitch Bolden! Wow! I thought that was actually going out of the end zone right into the corner. Great job by Brennan Rennie. Go up and get it. Woo! 6 more points for the Firebirds. Wow!
For Brennan, that's his 6th receiving touchdown of the year. He's got 7 altogether. Team's leading touchdown maker, one of the best in the GMC this year. It's Tyler Bond on to kick the point after. Mikey Gertz is the snapper. Aaron Peters is the holder, and she is up and through. 10-0 on homecoming for Lakota West.
Absolutely. This is what you got to do, you know, if you're Lakota West. That was a very efficient drive. You ran the fake punt. Sometimes you got to do that against a team like Mason, right? You know, that's what you have to do, and you're going to have to convert on those plays in order to beat these type of teams. So they're doing everything right now. It hasn't been easy, though, all right? It has not been easy for Mitch Bolden. He's been sacked. You know, the run game has kind of sputtered in and out a little bit, but they've been doing enough to move the ball down the field, keep the Mason offense on the field, and doing really a great job against a really tough defense.
We'll get to the key play. That's not the touchdown here coming up, but it was an 8-play drive that took up 3 minutes and 36 seconds, 76 yards, capped off by the touchdown pass from Bolden to Remy. For Mitch, that's his 14th of the year. That's a league lead, a league best. And for Remy, his 6th of the year. That's also a league best. Bond for the extra point is good, and our new score here in Beckett Ridge is 10-0. And, of course, that key play, the pickup on 4th down by Minnick. End-over-end kick to the north end. It's short, and it's a little scrum, and nobody's confused on that one. Only a pickup, a return of 10. So what Mason tried to do is go into a little muddle huddle, see who had the ball. West didn't care, and they just kept attacking the field.
You know what? You're not going to do that against Lakota West. You're not going to do that. You're not going to fool them, the number 2 team in the state. You know that you're not going to do that against this team. They're too well coached. So you know I don't quite understand the trickeration there. And again, I just don't understand it against a team like this. You're not going to fool them.
Spot the ball at the 12-yard line. Larson Brown in with Hibbett in the background. And another run play, and it goes to Hibbett and good yards. Well, a few yards. I was looking at the downfield block, actually, as we saw a pancake block.
Yeah.
64. Ben Cravens, the right tackle, came up and put a lick on a man.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. But no, a great stop actually really right there by the Lakota West defense. Forced them into that 2nd and long. You know, when the team is good on 3rd down or 4th down, that means that their 2nd down play has to be good as well. So again, force them into a situation here that's not comfortable for Mason.
So the downfield block only nets them half a yard, and it's 2nd down. As they motion Greer, and now we got a flag here with 10:18 left to go.
I'm going to say Lakota West jumped on the snap there a little bit. Maybe. Yeah, they did. I will say this, well, I think the reason they did partially was they were kind of bringing the house there. It looked like they had both linebackers up in the gaps, and it looked like from their first step that they were all coming there.
So a free 5 yards, courtesy of the Firebird defense, and it's second down, and we'll call it 5. As they motion Greer back to the left side of the line, and the running back, it's Sailors this time. And Sailors, after the initial surge, got pushed back after maybe 2. And on the front end of that was Kofi Bobby right in the middle. And by the way, we saw a lot of Kofi on the Today Show. He was behind the coach, and he's got a really beautiful flow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he does.
So Bobby was in visibility, in view, and so is Elijah Davis, of course, the coach's son, Mitch Bolden, and Brennan Remy to the far right, if you remember watching that. And Brennan was just about as mellow as you can imagine, and I think that's appropriate for the surfer dude.
Yeah, I was just going to say. Yeah, it's the surfer dude for Lakota West.
Down in distance, 3rd and 3 from the 20. As they motion Kaler, and Brown gives to the tailback, and the push into the line. I don't know if they got it.
I'll be interested to see. I'm kind of seeing where that judge on the far side is going to mark it, and it looks like they might have given it to him. Yep, they did. Interesting. I did not think that I thought it was a lot closer than that, let me put it that way.
So move the chains. They hard-fought yardage, and I think
see Coach Bolden down there. I think he saw the same thing too. I didn't mean to interrupt, but he's giving that referee an earful. And he's pointing right at that football.
Well, the one thing that we learned from last week, and it's not that we haven't seen Tom's act before, is that when he wants to dress down a linesman, he's comfortable with it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Brown faked the play action. It was a run play, actually, for about a yard off the right side. So right now, here's what we're seeing. We're not seeing a lot of yardage here from Mason, but they are converting on 3rd down.
Yeah.
In fact, they've converted on a couple already.
Right.
And that's really hard to do on a team that only allows 21% on 3rd down.
Right, exactly. So, and they're getting into these situations. Their second down play is getting them into that 3rd and short or 3rd and manageable situation, which is where you want to be if you're calling plays.
And Hivett, nowhere to go again. Jacob Asbeck got him. We saw his dad, Mike, tonight.
Yeah, his dad, Mike, here tonight, sits out in front of the press box. And I'll tell you what, to see, and I know we've talked about him at length, but Jacob, really starting last year, developed into a starter kind of midway through the season and really took over that defensive end position. I look at his technique is just so great. He knows how to extend off, get players off of him, almost reminiscent of like a Sam Hubbard type player, honestly. That's what he reminds me of.
So he should get a tackle for a loss on that, and if that's the case, he now has 11 and a half. 3rd and 10. Brown back to throw, rolls left. He throws, it's deflected, and nowhere to go. Broken up very well by Tabron Benny Powell.
I'll tell you what, he snuffed it out. Snuffed it out from the get-go. He had pressure on them, and that's exactly what you got to do to a Mason team. Get them in a 3rd and 10 situation. That's not where they want to be. They all night long they've been converting these 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3s because that's easy for them. That's where they want to be. So Lakota West has really, really, really gotten them off schedule. And I think they're coming after this punt right here, Jeff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised, and they are coming after him. Remy backs up on it, but he will walk away from it, and it ends up being a very nice punt.
Yeah.
As it rolls down to the 32-yard line. 45 yards on the punt, nothing on the return, and with 7 minutes left to go, West is looking to tack on. They're trying to make this a 3-score game.
Yeah, get it 3 scores to go into halftime. I think that's got to be the goal if you're Lakota West. For Mason right here, this is going to be a pivotal drive. You got to make a stop here and not let them get points on the board. Because you're going to probably have the football back, and with the way your offense is playing right now, you're going to probably grind out the rest of the clock going into halftime. So this is a key drive right here for the Mason Comets. You cannot let them get any type of points out of this drive for Lakota West.
Davion McCoy's in as they go to the pistol. Mitch holds on to it. Now throws. It's the home run for Remy Oh, and it's just off the mark. It might have been deflected by one of the defenders. The ball hung up for a half a second, and it allowed Mason to catch up as Nick Saylor is back there in coverage along with Sean Kruckerberg.
Well,
and that's the first incompletion tonight, by the way, for Bolden.
Well, what it was just slightly underthrown. Remy was speeding, and he was jetting down about as fast as I've ever seen him run before, and he had to actually kind of gear down a little bit and slow down and come back for that football, so I think that's what allowed them to get a tip on that.
Doubles to the bottom of your screen, and they go end around. It's Wilson, has really nowhere to go, maybe a pickup of a yard.
We'll try to get the stretch play there. They're just trying to do some stuff on the run game to keep Mason honest. They can't keep going down the field. But again, third and, less than manageable, we'll call it. 3rd and 7 situation now coming up for the Firebirds.
So Wilson picks up 3, 3rd and 7. And again, 3rd down is going to be huge tonight for both teams, offensively and defensively. Bolden out of the gun, claps for it. He wants to throw with time, and he is picked off out of the 40-yard line. And the return man takes it back a nice bit of yards and gives Mason positive position as Kai Wolfark gets the pick.
Oh, he tried to throw that to Brennan Remy and tried to really slice that ball into really triple coverage. And, the linebacker just sat back there and sat for it, and boom, right there. That's exactly what you want to do if you're a Mason. I talked about it. That was a pivotal drive right there. They could not let Lakota West get points. Not only did they not let him get points, they got the ball now on their side of the field going in. So this is huge momentum shift to the Comets now. If they can put points on the board, get this to within one score, is a different ball game going into halftime.
6:03 left to go. 10-0 Mason. I beg your pardon, West. Mason has the ball, and Mason with Hibbett gets up about 5 more to bring up 2nd and short. So that was the first incompletion of the night for Bolden, who had completed. Actually, he had missed on the previous throw, the downfield throw to Remy, but he had completed his first 5, including a touchdown.
Right.
So 5 for 7 on the night. And right now, Larson Brown's just trying to get out the schneid. He's 0 for 4 tonight and a pick.
And that's really been kind of what has helped Lakota West out massively defensively. He's just not been on the mark on the passing game.
Lane and Greer to the top side, and the little delay, and to Hibbett into the linebacking core, but doesn't get much further. Close to a first down.
Sort of an unusual play there. You had the quarterback dropping back, handing the ball off, and then he tripped and fell. And then nobody knew where the ball went. So, but that'll bring up, again, another 3rd and manageable situation for the Comets.
3rd, and we'll call it 2. It's a short 2. Out on that far hash mark, under 5 minutes to play here in this first half. A fast-moving game here in Beckett Ridge tonight. Number 2, Lakota West, and once beaten Mason. As they go, try to stack a little bit on the left side. And Sailors for the first down.
And this is exactly where Mason wants to be. They're grinding out the clock. It's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We just talked about how fast-moving this game has been. That's because Mason has held on to that football. They've periodically moved the ball down the field. They don't have any points, but they've been doing stuff on offense. They've been getting first downs consistently. They've been getting into those 3rd and short situations they'd like to be in. They just seem to, their past few drives, Lakota West has figured out a way to kind of stop them. So that's going to be key moving in here. Can Lakota West get this huge goal line stop here now?
And they're in the Red Sea red zone, and we've got a flag stopping things here. Offsides against the defense is the initial call. How good has Nick Saylor's been? From an efficiency standpoint, he's been really good. Coming into the ball game, it might not say it from a rushing standpoint, about 3.5 yards a carry. 173 yards on 49 carries, but he has 5 receptions coming in for 136 yards, and he scores through the air and on the ground. He has 4 touchdowns in limited touches.
Yeah, he's been all over it for Mason. We'll see what he can do right here.
And Sailors off the right side gets a nice push. A very nice push behind Ben Cravens and Chase Hacker to get it closer down to the 10-yard line.
And just ticking that clock away. That's all they want to do right here. They just want to tick it away, get points out of this, which they should now. They're well within field goal range.
Second, and we'll call it 2. They need the 8 for the line to gain and get to an end goal situation. And a pistol look now for Brown, and the hand to the running back Hibbett. He's got a good push right up the middle, should have the first down.
Well, one thing that he's doing is hitting the hole hard and low. All right, when you hit the hole hard and low, you're naturally going to take your body and move it forward at least 2 yards every single time you do that. He's been doing that all night long. You know, he's not standing up straight in the hole or not standing up when he hits it. He's nice and low and able to sneak out those little holes and fall forward and pick up 2, 3, 4 yards. And that's really helped Mason get them in comfortable positions.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. Twins to the bottom of your screen. 2:40 left to go till halftime. 10-0 West. And another give, a dive play for Hibbett, trying to fight for yardage, and he's going to find his room a little less to work with, and he might have gained maybe 2 on the play. They're going to give him forward progress out to the 4.
Well, right now, I'll tell you what Lakota West needs to be careful of is the play action. I can kind of see what Mason is doing with Hibbert. They're trying to get their, they haven't had success in the passing game, right? So you're going to continue to run them. They've had success now. I would watch out, be really eyeful and careful for the play action pass right here.
Twins to the short side, the top side. And we'll see if it's another run on play number 7. And it goes to Hibbett, closing in on the goal line, short of it. No signal, he is short. And a very big third down. They've run on every play on this drive. Do you stick with it here on third down?
Honestly, where are they at on the 1-yard line? I'm probably going to take the quarterback and run it. I'm using this as 4-down territory, though. This is I'm getting a touchdown here no matter what. If it takes me to another down to get it, so be it. As long as we don't get pushed back, and as long as Mason doesn't lose yardage here.
Nick Sailors is the running back. And the give to Sailors, bounces off a man and into the end zone he goes, and a flag afterwards. If it holds up, it's 10-6.
Great job, and great drive by Mason right there. I mean, a really great drive. They were methodical. They moved it down the field. They took a ton of time off the clock. Only 1:13 left to go in this half of football. So, again, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for the Mason Comets. And, hey, partner, we got ourselves a ball game now.
A brand new one. That is for sure. Colson Bunch is the kicker. He is 3 for 3 this year in relief duties of Michael Timmons, who was hurt earlier this season. 6 foot tall, 160 pounds, a senior. The snapper is Weston Simmons. His holder is Braden Greer.
Look at that. It was a personal foul on Lakota West, which will be enforced on the kickoff.
And we're waiting for the point after try. Good snap. The kick is away, and good. 10-7 and a brand new one here in Beckett Ridge on homecoming.
Tell you what, this is going to get interesting. I was curious to see how Lakota West would match up against this Mason defense, or more really honestly how Mason would match up with Lakota West. And right now, Mason has not flinched at all. They've gotten turnovers. They've been able to stop the run game for Lakota West. And what it is they've been able to stop Lakota West at pivotal points. They get, Lakota West gets 2 first downs, and all of a sudden, the Mason Comets are able to force them into a situation and gets Lakota West off schedule offensively and gets them into uncomfortable situations they don't want to be in.
8-play drive that soaks up 30 yards. Only 30 yards, but they get the punch in from 1 yard out. Nick Sailors. Point after is good, and the brand new score here in Beckett Ridge is 10-7. So 30 yards took up 4:50 off the clock, and this is what we were talking about before. When Mason's going good, they're soaking a ton of clock off.
I mean, averaging 30 minutes a game. I mean, that is just insane amount of time, and that's exactly what they want to do. That's perfect. Coach Kastner's very happy with that. He's a running backs coach from St. Xavier, won a state championship there with Steve Specht. He's an offensive line guy. He loves that type of football. This is what Coach Kastner wants to do. He's very comfortable right now. On the other sideline, though, I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Bolden, this is not going to be necessarily a happy halftime. Or, it might also be strategic because you are going up against a very good Mason defense. So it might not actually be the time to go out there and rip them new one because, honestly, this game is about where I kind of expected it to be. Maybe West up by another score or something like that, but, it's going to be a tight one.
Bunch of short kick. And, partner, I don't know about you. I want to talk through strategy before Lakota West gets back on field on offense. You're at the opposing 45 on a kickoff. Why don't you either A, go for the onside kick, or 2, kick it as high as possible and allow calamity to possibly ensue?
Well, that's you're exactly right, Jeff. And from a special teams perspective, that's what you would do. It's one of those things. You only have a certain amount of time in practice to practice certain scenarios. And that's usually one that does, come up. But, yeah, you're exactly right. That would be an ideal thing to do.
Doubles to each side, and Bolden will get. He wants to throw. He steps up, and he is dropped. And again, big-time pressure by the Mason front.
Wow. And it's been all night long. They've been doing this all night long. Honestly, I don't think Lakota West has come up against a defense this tough since week 1 against St. X.
Bryce Falk in on the stop. As we mount the clock under a minute, 50 seconds to go. A loss of 2. Right now, the game is centered around the big push from Mason defensively. 12 on the play clock. Mitch is taking his time. Now he will set up the run. He has nowhere to go. Again, that big push up front. This time, it's Aaron Spears, who's been a menace all night.
And I couldn't tell that was going to be a designed run. It kind of looked like it. He really didn't drop back to pass really quickly or anything like that. So I think that might have been a designed run. Looks like we have a timeout on the field. But I'll tell you what, for Mason and Coach Kastner, they're all fired up on that sideline, and they should be. They are playing lights-out defense against one of the top offenses in the state.
This game is powered by Miami University Regionals, accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that'll fit your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. We've got a good one going here. Brewing in Westchester, 10-7. A field goal by Tyler Bond in the first quarter made it 3-0. Then it was a 10-0 game on a Bolden to Remy hookup from 22 yards out. And then Sailors punched it in the last time down from 1 yard out. And we've got our 10-7 score with 29 seconds left to go. On third, and we'll call it 15. Let's see what we got from a bag of tricks. Deep drop with time for Bolden. He'll step up and now is running to the right. And now he's dropped back inside the 10-yard line.
I think the ball came out, and notice Lakota West got it back.
They did, out at the 9-yard line.
Wow.
And they're going to have to regroup, and another timeout charged to Mason. They got another one coming.
Well, yeah, great clock management there because you're going to take the timeout, stop the clock here, get the ball back in really favorable position now to get more points on the board. But, right now, Lakota West has really got to figure something out offensively because they have the past 2 drives, they have not been able to do hardly anything at all. Very, 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 non-Lakota West-like. They're typically able to figure some things out. So they're going to have to figure some stuff out at halftime. But before that, they got to figure this out here and prevent Mason from getting more points on the board and getting even more momentum going into
right
halftime.
Now, it is a big push from Mason's front.
Yeah.
That's been the story of this ball game. Minnick from inside his own goal line. Let's see if they come after him. He's got some time, and he boots this one away. It's Kruckerberg at his own 48, has some room up the middle, across midfield, and inside the 40-yard line. So a 12-yard return for Kruckerberg with 11 seconds left to go.
Really late flag came in there from the back judge. Not sure what this is going to be, but yeah, this was, I don't know, back judge look kind of ticked off a little bit on something, but not sure what.
And for the second straight drive, as we sort this one out, this will be great field position for Mason, though what you're going to have to look for, as they have, I believe, one timeout left. They do. They need a downfield play to set up a field goal and tie it up going into the half, because right now you need a chunk play, and for some sort of score. And this one's going to be marked off against Mason, and we'll see if this changes things. This is a 15-yard major.
Yeah, that honestly, gosh, that was a bad penalty right there by Mason, because this will, I mean, you are taking yourself out with 11 seconds left to go. Right now you got time for maybe 2 plays and to get it back into field goal range here. So again, that was a dramatic penalty right there. I didn't see, somebody must have said something. But yeah, so this will be interesting to see what they can come up with here.
Here's the problem for Mason on this and trying to get a downfield play. They are 0 for the night passing. Brown is back to throw. He throws, and he gets his first completion of the night. With 6 seconds left to go, it goes to Sailors for a nice little pickup. And was that another timeout? Yeah, that was the final timeout for Mason.
So stop it with 6 seconds. I don't know too many high school players that can hit a 60-some-odd yarder.
Well, yeah, clearly you're going to throw for it, or you're going to set up an offensive play, because if no one's going to buy the kicking attempt here.
No, I mean, you're going to go downfield here, get as far down there, and really, the coaching point on this play here is, we catch it or nobody catches it. So let's see what they come up with here, but an exciting end of the half, nonetheless.
I almost think that you go to the short pass in this situation, and here's the reason why. That was the first pass completion by Larson Brown tonight.
Very good point.
And you have 2 4-star kids in a defensive backfield.
Yeah.
You run the risk of a return for 6 as much as you have a chance to get a score for 6.
Well, that's very true. That's a very good point and very true point. So we'll have to see here what they come up with on that.
So they get forward progress to Sailors up to the 45. 2nd and 2 with 6 seconds left to go till halftime. And let's see if it's a short pass and if they just tried to run around and waste time a little bit. And he is dropped from behind. And that'll end things here in this quarter. The sack goes to Cam Thomas, who we've not called his name before. 16, Cam Thomas gets a sack to end things in half number 1. And what an interesting first half that we have here in Beckett Ridge tonight.
2 things I'm seeing right now, the Mason Comets. They are playing lockdown defensive backfield defense. Mitch Bolden has had time to throw some of the balls some of the passes, but nobody's been open. So that has forced a lot of these sacks. And then the pressure up front. The running game is not there for Lakota West, and Mason is doing everything right offensively. They're controlling the clock. They're getting themselves into manageable situations, and that's going to be key moving down. As far as adjustments go, this is not a time where you go in my opinion, and I kind of stop myself because this is what happens with coaches' minds. You want to go in there and then you stop yourself. You say, hang on, take a deep breath. Let's figure this out, because this is a good Mason team. We knew that coming in. They're 5-1. Their defense is good. Coach Bolden even admitted that on the sideline to us. So, again, they're going to have to figure some things out here offensively, but right now they got to get themselves into better position on 3rd down for Lakota West. For Mason, you got to continue to control the football.
Both teams in position to control their own destiny for bragging rights in the conference this year. And both teams are perfect in conference this year. Both teams have long winning streaks. 5 wins in a row for Mason, 6 in a row for Lakota West. Something has to give. And right now we've got a beauty through the first 24 minutes of this ball game, 10-7. When we return, we'll show you a little bit of the halftime. In fact, we'll see the homecoming court get announced here in Week 7. Again, the score here from Beckett Ridge, 10-7 Lakota West. Back with more on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. They've moved up the clock a little bit, and we're about ready to get the second half underway. You see Giovanni Wilson out on the far side as one of the kick returners. And looking to see if that's Minnick on the near side. His number's obscured from our view. In any case, Lakota West will attack the south end zone. They'll go right to left when they get the ball. And Colson Bunch is ready to kick things away to open up half number 2. We should have a very memorable 24 minutes.
This is going to be interesting.
And the boot comes out to the far side, out of bounds. I mean, that thing was a duck, a wounded duck that didn't even hit the 20-yard line.
No, but here you go, right here for Mitch Bolden in this Lakota West offense. You're going to get the ball in great field position to start this second half. This is where you got to strike. And what I mean by strike, I kind of talked about scoring early and often. This is one of those where I think you want to start putting a drive together, but at the same time, you got to get points out of it. You got to start extending this lead out and give yourself some breathing room here against Mason.
Well, speaking of breathing room, the kick that went out of bounds is a 15-yard major, so Lakota West will get the ball at their own 35-yard line to start off this second half. And that's a big bit of space between you and your own end zone. And instead of needing 80 yards to get pay dirt, you need 65. Triplets to the bottom of your screen. And a ball's loose. And a massive hit in the backfield. It was a designed run play and was sniffed out immediately, and a loss of 5 on the play.
Well, they had the matchup. They had one-on-one coverage. The safety came down on the inside receiver, so they had literally 2 one-on-one matchups with the 2 receivers closest to us here, and Mitch just had nowhere to go with it.
Right now, the momentum clearly in favor of the Comets.
Yeah.
2nd and 15 after the loss of 5 to start off this second half. Again, triplets to the bottom of your screen. Now they motion Lloyd back to the top side. And Bolden wants to throw out to that far side. It's complete. And they're trying to regain some yards, and only a couple. And right now, Mason's the shark in the water, and they're smelling blood.
They have. Absolutely, Jeff. You hit the nail on the head. That's that screen game that we saw work so well last week for Lakota West. That's been about maybe only the first or maybe second one we've seen them throw here in this game. So I'm curious to see if they don't come back to that at some point. But, again, this is exactly what you want to do. If you're Mason, you've got Lakota West off schedule offensively. They didn't come out and allow them to come out and do anything they wanted to do at a halftime. So this is going to be key for Mitch Bolden. You got to convert here on this 3rd down.
3rd and 14. The ball's at the 21-yard line. You need as Bolden gets back to pass.
He's got time.
And now is running for it. Now throwing down the field for Lloyd. He's got it for a big first down. He's got more to go. And he has rolled out of bounds out to the 20-yard line. Improvisation was beautiful on that play.
Well, right there, you almost saw another coverage sack by this defensive backfield for Mason. And they've been just locked down. Great job, great scramble drill by Mitch Bolden to find Trent Lloyd there for a big gain. Huge pickup for Lakota West.
A pickup of 49. That's the biggest play of this ball game so far in terms of distance and yardage. As they motion Lloyd, and he gets the ball. He cuts up the field, up the seam. You think he wants to win on senior homecoming night?
I'll tell you what. That was a heck of a run. He was able to plant his foot in the ground and get upfield. And I think what they've realized and why they're able to put him in those positions is his vision is so good. He's able to find those holes and get in there.
A pickup of 6. So this has been Lloyd's drive so far. He's accounted for the last 55 yards of offense. And Lloyd is all by himself as a split end, one-on-one to the bottom of your screen.
That's the matchup you want.
Triplets to the top side, on the short side, to the boundary. And now the toss out to the far side. They try to set up the screen there, but Mason was wise to it, and it's short yardage.
But they'll get the first down, it looks like. So that's exactly what you want to do there if you're Lakota West. But I'm more curious if I'm them, I'm just going to go try and get that matchup again with Lloyd one-on-one with no safety help over top. To me, that's exactly what you want if you're Lakota West.
Well, again, you have a two-way go with Lloyd, especially one-on-one, wide open on that left side. Play to the sideline or play to the post. 1st and goal from the 8.
There it is again.
Bolden gets, he wants to throw for Lloyd, incomplete, a little too short on the fastball. And defended well out there by Stephen McCalman. .943 frozen on the clock. And right now, Lakota West, the number 2 team in the state, looking to get some breathing room. Mason has really choked them so far through the first half and change here in this ball game as they go twins to each side. Bolden gets big pressure from Mason. The throw to the far side for 6.
I believe that was Trent Lloyd again, took over that drive. All over Mitch Bolden to Trent Lloyd, 6 more points, and now they got the breathing room that Lakota West desperately needed to get coming out of halftime. Again, we thought that drive was going to fall apart there. Mitch Bolden, Trent Lloyd took control, 6 more points for the Firebirds.
And West gets some breathing room at 16-7, looking for the point after. And a good starting drive here in this second half. And this one is muffed and taken away, and West is trying to get 2 out of it, out to the sideline, and it's short. So I don't know if that was a design trick play to try to get 2, and it's just short on the near side, and it is 16-7.
Interesting. I don't know why you would run a trick play there to get 2 at this point in the game. Definitely that's not what's going to put you on schedule with anything, but nonetheless, they do get some more breathing room. But again, that kind of that might play a big part, Jeff, down the stretch here. The more and more I think about it.
7-play drive, by the way, to cap things off. That was a 7-play drive, 65 yards. It took 2 minutes and 23 seconds off the clock. It was a touchdown pass from Bolden to Lloyd. Lloyd picks up his first of the night, and Bolden gets his second throwing. Point after, no good on the 2-point, what ended up being a 2-point try, and we've got a brand new score here in Beckett Ridge at 16-7. So this is the drive that Tom Bolden really needed to come out of the locker room.
Yeah. Well, a great job by Mitch Bolden. We thought that it was going to kind of fall apart there, and then all of a sudden, he and Trent Lloyd were able to take control of that drive, and that's what you're going to need to have out of them for the rest of the game. I really like the matchups that I'm seeing Lakota West put Mason in, especially on the one-on-ones on the outside.
Deep kick to the south end, and Deaton gets it at the goal line, right at the goal line. And that's why they call it off, right? Because you're not allowed to return it once it gets into the end zone. So they'll set it out at the 20 with a clock that's still running, and now it's stopped at 9:26 left to go.
See if they put that time back on the board, but nonetheless, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Lakota West coming out. Now, if you're Mason here, this is going to be another situation where you need to get points out of this drive, but you also want to be methodical and obviously keep that Lakota West offense off the field, which they've been able to do a lot of here tonight. They've been able to have those methodical drives down the field, so we'll have to see what Coach Kasser is able to come up here on this drive.
And they did put time back on the clock. 9:34 left to go in the third. Twins to the bottom of your screen. The pass defense for Lakota West tonight has been locked down, and it's a run play to start off half number 2 on offense for Mason.
I mean, you kind of knew that coming into this game. You had 2 of the top defenses in the league coming in here tonight, going head-to-head. It's been a barn burner. It's been a clash of 2 really good football teams. I mean, I think people sometimes have gotten accustomed to Lakota West with these big gains, these big 38-0 victories where, we haven't seen them in these tight ones at least since week 1. So right now, this is going to be a good test. You're going to have to win these games. You're going to have to win these type of games in the playoffs. This is what you're going to have to do. You got to come out winners in these tight ones. 2nd and 6 on a pickup by 4 by Hibbett, who gets the ball again, and he has less to work with this time around. Push backwards after the initial surge. Mike Brandkamp, the first one in there. Brandcamp, another kid who's just been all over the football field this year. I mean, just absolutely left, right. He is just one of those sharks that just snuffs it out and then attacks at the point of contact. He's a great also at learning to, stretch plays out and recognize his lanes that he has to get to tackling-wise. So he's very, very smart football player, and that's what you want out of a linebacker.
3rd and 5. Also, Markley was in on that, and he's just a sophomore, so the future's awfully bright in the linebacking spot for Lakota West. And Brown is back to throw. 1 and 1, and this one nearly taken away. Intended for Jack Ryder and nearly picked off by Drew Minnick.
Great play by Drew Minnick. He was able to get in on great possession, not have his body into the receiver, which would have gotten him a penalty, and got himself perfect line to bat that ball away and force Mason now to punt. That was a 3rd and 5 situation. I'll call that a comfortable situation for Mason. That's on the play sheet there.
And by the way, and this one down the field and out to the sideline, as while you and I were taking notes and looking away, they got that punt off awfully quick. And with 7:56 left to go here in this 3rd period, Lakota West, the number 2 team in the state, got a touchdown on their first offensive set of the second half, and then they got a 3 and out. Momentum is very, very fickle.
It is, and honestly, you're 100% right. I don't know whether it's where it sits right now. Honestly, it's probably 50-50 with each team as far as the momentum goes. But this is an opportunity again for Mitch Bolden. You got good starting field position here. You got to figure out a way to get points out of this and continue to cushion that lead against a really tough Mason defense that's been giving you fits all night long. I love what they're doing here.
Oh, yeah,
This is
starting
awesome.
off in a wideout spread, and then they move Remy from the left side to the right, and they go twins, and then they now motion and go fake the run play. No, actually it is the run play, and I believe it's Tabron Benny Powell who came around from what looked like the slot position to gain really nothing. So a lot of histrionics, a lot of moving around for nothing to gain.
But what that moving around does, Jeff, and we used to run this a lot at Loveland when I was there, is you change the strength of of the offense now. You was on the left side, now you change it. So you're getting their defense now going, oh my gosh, what do I got to do? Your assignments all of a sudden change real quick, and then boom, you're snapping the football. So that's the key, is you got to snap the football quick right after the second set is completed.
You see Gonzalez now in the backfield with Bolden on 2nd and 10. And the throw out to the far side, and good yards. A nice pickup on 2nd down on a little screenplay. And again, it is Trent Lloyd who's the story of this ballgame in the second half.
Absolutely, and this is again where you're going to start getting them into, and here we go in a hurry-up offense. I love this.
3rd, and we'll call it 2. Mason's showing blitz. And when in doubt, crowd the line when the other team speeds you up. 6:43 left to go. Remy's still getting a sign from the sideline, and everybody's looking to the sideline, so it's really hurry up and wait. And now they'll back Bolden up into the gun. And Gonzalez has the first down! On 3rd and short, Lakota West converts. They needed 2, and they got 9 more.
Well, that's exactly what they needed right there. And, that's the benefit of getting the line quick. Get your set. And they probably had maybe 2 plays called the prior down, so they get up there quick, get set, and that gives the coaches up here in the box all the time in the world to look and see and get exactly what they want to do, get all the pieces of the puzzle just right, and it worked out huge right there for Lakota West. That was a big first down, Jeff.
You and I were talking prior to the ball game about fulcrum pieces, right, on defense, and what you do if you're on offense to react, whether it's run or pass.
Right.
Here, you saw that opening, and Gonzalez exploited it for 11. And they motion Lloyd, and he gets the ball in space, and good yardage on first down, and has another first down.
I'll tell you what, he is just slippery inside of there. I mean, he is just one of these backs that just finds it in there, and he's able to get in. Now it looks like we got a flag on the play. Late flag, I think, came in.
Yeah, it came in awfully late.
Yeah.
And we see 2 flags on the field. One at kind of what would be the new line of scrimmage, and one well into the defensive backfield. 5:40 left to go here in this one. Classic brewing, maybe. At least at halftime it was. But Lakota West trying to escape here. keep their perfect season on the line here in this ball game. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. Kev, it's been, we mentioned ebb and tide in this one. The first period really belonged to Lakota West. Then the second belonged to Mason. The third looks like it's going to belong to the home team.
Yeah, it's just really all about what's that fourth quarter going to go to, right? Because that's the one that's most important. So they're still talking about this.
And I've got eyes on Jerry Einsfeld. So it's holding against the offense.
I think they actually called a personal foul.
Well,
and it kind of looked like it there.
It looked like Einsfeld.
I thought he might have been here with it, and the way they're marking it off.
It looked like from and let's see where they put him back. Out to midfield.
No, they're going to put him right at the 40.
Right at the 50-yard line. Oh, I'm sorry. It is the 45-yard line.
Yeah. The scoreboards hung up there we're looking at.
They have the same eyes that I do, apparently. Yeah. And
Lloyd again
in space, and another flag as well. And we'll see if this one holds up. But this one was thrown in the offensive backfield out in the area of holding. And
nice.
It is. That one falls under the occasion of a blind squirrel finding a nut.
Well,
once in a while.
On a stretch play like that, I mean, you can throw a penalty flag no matter what. I mean, there's going to be holding on a stretch play. It happens. No matter. It's just a matter of who is going to show it the best, who's going to show it to the referee. So odds are there a hand got behind or some jersey pulled there. But now you're in a really, really, really deep situation. The only benefit you have is that it's still first down.
So on consecutive plays, well, they don't end up being plays. We've got penalties, and that has set Lakota West back to their own 43-yard line.
First and a mile.
Bolden fakes the screen to the right, now steps up to run for it, and he drops the ball out at midfield, and Mason may have it at the 50.
I think they do.
They do. The second turnover of the night. He got a little loose with the ball, and it was stripped away from him, and I believe Bryce Falk came away with it.
And now they're talking. Coach Bolden, I think there might have been a flag. I can't see it, but he was acting like it was a face mask call or something. I don't see a flag anywhere.
So we do have a discussion right at midfield with 4:48 left to go, and what has been a wild one here in this third period.
They kept the Lakota West coaches all told the offense to go back on the field. They told them the second they started coming to the sideline, they waved them back and said go back on the field. And it looks like they are taking the ball and marking it.
It is a face mask against Mason.
I'm guessing that would then be.
Well, when did the face mask come?
I guess that must be the question then, right? Because Lakota West offense is still on the field right now.
So if the face mask came before the
I'm going
loss of the ball,
I'm going to say it's Lakota West football. Their coaches are signaling an offensive play right now. So I'm going to say that is Lakota West football.
So Jerry Einsfeld is pointed towards the south end zone. West will retain possession, and boy, you want to talk about a collective touching of the rabbit's foot?
Oh, wow. I mean,
we had not walking under ladders?
We had back-to-back 15-yard penalties there. And then we had a fumble, but there was a face mask hidden somewhere in there. I mean, wow, that was a wild series.
And if this becomes 6 for Lakota West, that'll be what we talk about tonight.
And it's still first down.
And Bolden will keep it on a design run. Mercy.
Wow. I mean, and all that happened, and it was still first down. They still have a full plethora of plays and downs to work with here. My goodness.
So Mitch gains 4. Now, was that 1st and 15? Because the way we see, he gained 4 on the play.
So that was,
it was 1st and 15. We didn't see 15 up on the board. We now have 2nd and what should be 11, I believe. And Bolden to throw with time. He steps up, And now he'll throw to the sideline, complete.
Look, that's Trent Lloyd again on that sideline.
It is, and boy, the New York City Diner is open all night.
Absolutely, and he's really shown it here in this quarter. I mean, they have really shown that he is really a great runner, a great receiver, and right there, a great catch on the sideline to get the first down. So right now, the Trent Lloyd and Mitch Bolden, show is going on here in this third quarter.
They needed 11, they got 11. First and 10 out to the 35-yard line. Again, if the way this game has gone, this drive has gone, as we have an official stop, and while we have a moment, Miami University Regionals is accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree conveniently. Located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. With Archer's uncle, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Got to get that one out of the way and pay the bills. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. So I was saying before we had the official stop is with the 3 consecutive penalties, and especially that third one negating the turnover.
Yeah.
If West gets a touchdown here and goes up by another score, that is your story of the game.
Right.
Bar
Absolutely.
none.
Absolutely. That whole sequence right there will determine the game. But there's a lot to be determined before that.
Triplets to the near side, to the bottom of your screen. A dummy call for Mitch, and now he'll set up the run play. And again, scatting up for good yardage is Trent Lloyd.
Hey, it's working, right? It's working for you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And right now, that's the mantra for Lakota West here. And honestly, what I think also is as this quarter winds down here, I mean, they're taking their time. They understand where they're at. They need to milk this clock a little bit with just under 3.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Pick up a 4 on first down. 2nd and 6. Remy is in a slot to the left inside a pair of receivers. And they look towards Remy. And they set up a screen for him, but the fastball a little too high.
Well, you can see, I think, Mitch Bolden right there was looking. He had to get the ball up, and that's that kind of almost Tim Tebow type play that he used to run there. Just unfortunately, he didn't snap that wrist down, so the ball floated over Remy's head. Luckily, not into a Mason defender's hands.
And do we see Minnick out there as a split end to the left? We do. He's in the ball game on offense. Triplets to the bottom of your screen. Let's see if they look Minnick's way. Bolden with time, and he runs out of time. Sacked out at the 40-yard line.
Another coverage sack by this Mason defense. I mean,
Kai Woolfork.
He had nowhere to go with the football. Everybody was covered there. He had plenty of time. We called it. He had more than enough time to make a play. He just had nowhere to go with it, and I think that's going to force him into a punting situation here.
4th down out at the 40-yard line, and it will.
Is this their third punt of the game? I'm trying to think the last time the Lakota West punted 3 times in a football game.
It's St. X.
I was going to say it probably was week 1.
In fact, the following game when we saw them against Lakota East, they didn't have any punts.
Yeah.
And Minnick will kick. It's a high kick. I don't know if it's a wounded duck and if it was intentional to butt it out to the sideline, but he does.
Well, and we talked about momentum in this game, and I'll tell you what, it is, you kind of saw it there on that last drive, start leaning towards Lakota West, and then all of a sudden, boom, it goes right back to Mason here now. So they're going to get the football and right around – the 26? Yeah, 26-yard line here. So, again, now they're in control of this, and we've known what they can do with the football coming right before the half.
And, by the way, that's a 14-yard net.
Not what you wanted there. I bet you anything he was trying to pin him deep and hit it off the side of his foot, which that will happen for a young punter from time to time.
That's happened on both sides
you're right.
Tonight. I mean, we saw a wounded duck on a kickoff earlier in this game for Mason.
To start the second half.
Larson Brown wants the deep throw, and now is chased up from the pocket. He'll throw it out to the sideline and away. Technically, he was throwing it to Quinn Brown, but honestly, he was throwing that one away. 2nd down.
Well, hey, another great defensive play by the backfield of Lakota West, especially Ben Minnick over there on that side. You know, he's played lockdown coverage really all year long, and he's shown it here tonight. Right now, Mason has not been able to do really much through the air at all. So, again, that's going to be huge for Lakota West. They just got to hold on and keep bending, but don't break on defense.
West up by 2 scores with 2:06 left to go here in the third. Twins to the bottom of your screen for Mason, and Brown, who's gone the distance at quarterback after missing a week, will hand it off. And it's a good combination tonight between Hibbett and Sailors. And Hibbett got the ball. Hibbett's been really kind of a wonder. It looked like Sailors, who was outstanding a year ago, would be the return at tailback, but Hibbett really won him out in the preseason and has gone the way. He's the lead back, but Sailors has been valuable as an all-purpose back.
Yeah.
Pick up a 4, 3rd and 6, and another critical third down here in this ball game. They're all big. I think you just nailed it.
Yeah.
They motion Greer. Back to passes Brown. Now throwing down towards Greer, and he got it out at the 44-yard line.
No, incomplete.
Incomplete.
Wow, the referee came in there and said he was bobbling it. Yeah. You know, one thing about this defensive backfield, it was a point that Coach Bolden made in the coaches show, or the Firebirds show earlier this week. They have 7 different coverages that they run. I mean, Jeff, for kids for 17, 16, 17, 18-year-olds to understand that and know where to go when the offense shifts or they do something different, I mean, that's huge. You got to have the right guys. You got to have a very smart football player to do that.
And this one gets away! And Lakota West will have first down and goal coming up on the block punt.
Big play there. That might be the biggest one yet for Lakota West. Huge block coming in there.
Ben Minnick. He has been a show stealer on special teams this year.
Wow. I'll tell you what, that's what Lakota West needed. Now all of a sudden that pendulum, that momentum gauge just starts shifting over to Lakota West sideline.
First and goal from the 8-yard line. It goes without saying, the best starting position of the night.
Yes.
For either team, as Mason shows blitz. Bolden to throw. He's looking for the side, and incomplete.
Looks like that was complete. Yeah, he's marking him down.
Gonzalez, who gained a couple of yards on that one. Or did he even gain a couple? I know he got it complete.
I don't think if he picked up any, it was a few inches.
Technically a loss on the play. -1. They mark him at the 9-yard line. So 2nd and goal. And if you're Mason, you're hoping for this to turn into a field goal opportunity and still keep it within 2 scores. This is a big pivot point here in the ball game with 26 seconds left to go here in the third. Bolden calls for it. He goes out, and this one deflected away, intended for guess who? Trent Lloyd. And a big third down coming up.
Well, it was a huge deflection there. Just basically jumped right up and almost picked the ball right out of the air. But, yeah, I mean, he was going right back to the guy who's been open really this second half, and that's Trent Lloyd. See what they come back to on 3rd and 9. Not the situation they want to be in here.
Lloyd had the big 49-yarder to jumpstart things here in the third period, and he's looking perhaps to close it out here in the third period with another score. Bolden waits. He dumps it off. It's Gonzalez to the goal line. 22-7 West.
Great play call by the offensive coordinator, Jerry Bowchamp, to come in there. They ran the play action fake. Mason fell for it, wide open. Gonzalez in the end zone. Another great pass by Mitch Bolden. 6 more points for the Firebirds, and now they get that cushion they've been desperately seeking here in this third quarter. Big going in to the fourth quarter, and now that momentum gauge shifts solely over to Lakota West.
Tyler Bond to kick. And what a wild third quarter it's been. And that kick is good. 23-7. And now we've got technically a 3-score lead. It's a 16-point ball game, but you need touchdowns and 2-point conversions. It's really a three possession ball game.
You might as well call it what it is right there. But I mean, you get the block punt, and then you convert on that, and you get points off of that. That right there is going to be huge for Lakota West.
Bolden gets his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. Drive took 54 seconds, 8 yards officially. It was a 9-yard touchdown pass from Bolden and Gonzalez. Gonzalez scores for the 2nd time in as many weeks. Point after is good. And the brand new score here in this ball game, 23-7. The only thing that's been clear here in this one in the 3rd is the number 2 team in the state has exerted its will.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think we've also shown here in this 3rd quarter how just potent of a player Trent Lloyd is, and how dynamic he is. Put him in the backfield, put him in the slot, put him one-on-one on the outside. He can do it all, really. He's just got to continue that here into the 4th quarter.
14 ticks of the clock left to go, and while the circumstance is a little different because last week it was to set up a running clock against Hamilton, and Bond kicks from the 40, and it's a low liner. And Deaton takes up the side. And with 8 seconds left to go, Mason will get the ball back. I want to finish the thought.
Yeah.
In that last week when Lakota West scored to close out the 3rd period, that set up the running clock, and it changed just kind of the momentum really on the way that both sides were going to play this ball game. This one's a little different. This one's been competitive all night long, but you now have a 3-possession ball game. You have to play a little differently. If you're Mason now, you got to think about how you're going to get the ball down in a hurry because you only have so many minutes.
I mean, this is probably the most competitive game you and I have called for Lakota West since the playoff game last year. Honestly. So, it'll be interesting to see how they do this and how they perform here going into the 4th quarter.
From the 23. Brown looks right, throws right, and it's picked off! This is 6! Malik Hartford touchdown!
Cherry on top of the ice cream. Right there, Malik Hartford. Wow, with the pick 6. And now it's all Lakota West. Woo! Wow.
29-7, have mercy. And boy, was Malik licking his chops on that one.
Oh, he snuffed that thing out from the get-go. Wow, what a big play there for Lakota West.
And Tyler Bond, just as fast as he could sit down, has to get back up and get a point after attempt.
That's great for Malik. He went through, there was some, controversy a little bit with last week's game. He comes out of that, able to get everything smoothed away, and big play there by him.
Mikey Gertz is a slong snapper. Aaron Peters will hold for Tyler Bond. Big-legged. The lefty who had gotten a 45-yard field goal to start the scoring tonight. And what seems like kind of an eon ago, even though it's only 8:44 in the evening. So when he scored, that's about an hour and a half ago. That seems like yesterday now.
I can't even hardly remember it.
30-7 on the point after, and good. One play does it all. Malik Hartford, the pick 6. The second interception tonight for Larson Brown. And by the way, Larson had come in hitting on 64.3% of his passes. He has hit on 1 pass tonight and has had 2 picks, including a pick 6. And we have come to the end of our 3rd period, and we'll do a break. 30-7. Lakota West in control here on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. To the 4th we go. And West has opened up a big can here in the 3rd. And what was once a very close ball game at 10-7 has now been added to by the state's number 2 team. They put up 20 points unanswered in the 3rd period, and they lead it 30-7. Along with Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us on Chatterbox Plus, powered by Miami University Regionals. Well, we were scoffing a little bit at the score of Moeller and Elder at the half, thinking that we had our game of the week. Right now, Lakota West has flexed its muscle.
Is that an onside kick? Is that an
And
do they have it?
And Lakota West has it. They do.
Oh!
So there was a penalty assessed at the end of the last touchdown, and it was a short kick from the 25, and then they had a short kick here, a squibber up front that took Mason completely off, and it's a Lakota West possession, and they're really now looking to put the dagger shot in.
Yeah, this will do it right here. You know, got to convert on the turnovers that you get or the big special teams plays like that. So, yeah, so right here, again, great opportunity for Lakota West. They've converted on them all night long, or at least in this second half, I should say. So, again, they really, really got to get out there. Mason's defense has been on the field a long time here now. They got to be getting tired.
9 route?
Yeah, I'm hitting the home run here. Why not? After a big play like that, 2 big plays back-to-back.
Bolden looking, short, now running out of time, steps up and will run for it. Has 5, has 7. Nice spin move by the quarterback, and he's got 9 yards on the run.
And again, this Mason backfield, I mean, has just been locked down. I mean, we've seen him have to scramble probably more tonight than I think I've really ever seen Mitch Bolden have to scramble, honestly, in a game. So, you know, yeah, I mean, hats off to their backfield. But again, great job by Mitch Bolden, and that's kind of that dual threat you can see. He can tuck the ball and pick up yards with his feet.
2nd and 1, and you got a lot of options here with 2nd and short. They go tight in the formation, and it's a run play, and Lloyd will reverse direction. He thought about going back left, gets the first down, and picks up 5.
Yeah, that's one of those where, you know, don't stop your feet, but he's that good of an athlete, he can do that. You know, he's able to stop his feet, figure out where his position is, and see the field, and then figure out where he needs to go from there. And that's what makes Trent Lloyd just such a dynamic offensive football player. You can put him really anywhere on the field, any position, he's going to perform well.
By the way, how dynamic has Lakota West been in terms of your Mason? Mason coming into this ballgame had only given up no more than 1 score a ball game by its defense. 1. It's a 23-point deficit tonight for the Comets. Bolden to throw with time. Now a throw and complete. Little short dump-off pass for minimal yards to Trent Lloyd. Or, actually, it's 8. Beg your pardon. So it's not Lloyd, and it is Scott Johnson who gets his first reception of the night.
Mason defense hasn't given up more than 9 points this entire year, and those 9 points actually came in week 1 against Gahanna-Lincoln.
Well, and keep in mind the first 2 points of that was a safety given up by the offense.
And Gahanna-Lincoln is right now the number 1 team in Columbus. They're going up against New Albany, the number 3 team in Columbus tonight. Big one up there. They could have computer points implications here in Cincinnati.
Run play comes right. Lloyd has some room, cutting back to the middle with a first down.
My goodness. I mean, he has just taken over this second half so far offensively for Lakota West. And good for him. I mean, he is just so dynamic. You can put him anywhere. I've said it once, I'll say it again. You can put him anywhere on the field, and he is going to perform for Lakota West, and he's shown it here tonight.
13 yards on the carry. Lakota West knocking on the door. They're at the 12 with 9:28 left to go in this ball game. Bolden wants the ball, and he gets it with time.
It's coming.
And now looking, he'll throw it away. Boy, he was under heavy, heavy duress. And again, you know, that big front that had come on in to this ball game. Malachi Reed and was in his grill right away.
Well, Malachi was. I mean, they showed the blitz. It was there. And that type of situation, it looked like they were maybe setting up a screenplay. And, you know, for future quarterbacks or quarterback coaches, the coaching point there is if he's not open and you got guys in your face, you throw it at his feet immediately. That's why it's no harm, no foul on anybody.
By the way, we have yet to see that backside.
Yeah.
That backside.
Screenplay, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, no, absolutely. That you're 100% right. Their screenplay really hasn't been there. They've thrown a couple here, and it looks like we got a timeout. Lakota West, I think.
And this game is powered by Miami University Regionals, accepting applications for 2023 classes. With over 30 majors offered in person and online, you can design a schedule that fits your needs and start earning your Miami degree, conveniently located in Hamilton, Middletown, Westchester, and online. Learn more at miamioh.edu/regionals. Along Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Week 7 about ready to wrap up here. We're 9:19 away from the conclusion of this one, and what looked like a conclusion in doubt for the state's number 2 team at halftime is no longer in doubt.
Yeah, right now, I mean, it was definitely, didn't quite know where it was, but hey, hats off to Lakota West. They made the adjustments just like they've done all year long. Even that St. Xavier game in week 1, they were down at the half, came out on fire in that second half and ended up beating St. Xavier.
Pitch shutout football in that second half. Out of the timeout, Bolden waits. Quick pass, now throws for the corner for Remy. Touchdown! Number 4 tonight for Mitch Bolden. Mercy.
Well, I'll tell you what, Money Mitch has been all over the field. I mean, this kid can throw. He got hit hard on that last play. Doesn't matter. He's going to get it right back up because that's the kind of player Mitch Bolden is. Great drive by Lakota West. Now the route is on here in Beckett Ridge.
And you're a point after away from a running clock. Could you believe that?
Wow, I did not think that was going to happen.
And the point after attempt is good. 37-7. Mercy.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, just a great second half here by Lakota West. They came out, all guns blazing right now out of halftime. Taking a look at Mitch Bolden down the sideline, making sure he's all right. He took a big hit from the blind side on that last play, but he's up. I think he's looking good. Just kind of got to get it stretched out. Maybe you got the wind knocked out of him a little bit, but great play, great throw. And, man, I'll tell you what, here we go, Jeff. I mean, 37-7 again.
6-play drive that went 40 yards officially. It took 2 minutes and 41 seconds off the clock. Bolden hit his 4th of the night. This one to Brennan Remy from 12 yards out. And both continued to lead in touchdowns within the conference in the passing game this year. Point after is good, and the brand new score is 37-7.
Wow.
I don't believe what I've seen.
Well, based off the first half and the way that was going, no, absolutely not. We did not think this was going to happen. I mean, the second half plays that they've had here for Lakota West have just been, they've been in the right position at the right time. That's what they needed.
Crookerberg from the 5. 10, 20, 23 as he is brought to rest there.
Looked like Jacob Asback snuck in on that one.
9:02 left to go, and we do have officially a running clock.
I mean, great special teams play tonight here by Lakota West, the block punt. I mean, it's a lot of it's going their way here in the second half. Mason just hasn't had a time really to catch their breath and get back on schedule. And right now, this is not where you want to be, especially with their low pass rating they've had all game long. They haven't been able to throw the ball down the field at all in Lakota West.
Well, and that tells you how good the defensive secondary for the Firebirds is because, as they set the ball at the 25, and a run play. And why wouldn't you set up for the run if you're Lakota West at this point?
Absolutely. I will say, looking at the Lakota West sideline, they have 2 quarterbacks look like they're warming up. Based off that hit that Mitch Bolden took, I wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and sit him for the rest of the night because, I mean, they're going to need him big time coming down in the weeks coming up.
Yeah, down the stretch. Well, you got a big one next week.
Yeah.
And again, we're gonna make sure that Reed Mouse knows that we do want Lakota West and Fairfield next week.
Wink, wink, tap, tap.
Pickup of 1. 2nd and 9. Twins to the bottom of your screen out on the left. And another run for Hibbett. And he has a little bit more room to work with this time, running behind Ben Cravens and Chase Hacker, and a gain of a couple. I think forward progress for 3. So they'll spot him. And it's 3rd down.
We were talking about the defensive backfield for Lakota West, and I've mentioned a few times, really both defensive backfields tonight have been playing very good football. I mean, we've seen the Mason Comet backfield give Mitch Bolden some fits at times and actually forced him into a couple sacks here tonight. So, again, you're seeing really 2 really good defenses go at it. It's just Lakota West has gotten just a little bit more lucky on a couple plays.
3rd, and we'll call it 5. And the quarterback rolled to the left, and he is dropped. Dropped there by the linebacker, Micah Markley, the sophomore.
I'll tell you what, he's going to be a kid to be forced to be reckoned with for years to come here at Lakota West. Wow. He's all over the field, even as a sophomore.
And that might have been Kaler at quarterback on that last sequence, because I thought I saw two flashing by.
I always wonder if Kaler doesn't give him more downfield option.
And the kick comes left from Krukerberg. And Remy gets it at the 43-yard line, and he'll dash out of bounds, a return of 6 yards. And it's 1st and 10 for Lakota West.
See who comes out for quarterback for them.
So something that you and I were amused by. We did mention at the end of last week's game that the last 2 times that we had seen Lakota West, the defense had pitched shutouts, and Tom Bolden says, can you come back every week?
It was close.
It was close. So you have to wonder if we'll get invited back this time around. And the little play out to the left, a little stretch play. And the running back was that 29? Cordell Adkins.
It looks like Nolan Parker, the junior, is in at quarterback right now for the Firebirds. That's smart. That is very smart on Coach Bolden. He understands, hey, they got this game well in control now. You know, there's no reason to get those guys injured or put them in a position to be injured.
And Parker hands Adkins off the right side, looking for room. A little short of the first down. Probably needs another yard, I believe.
I think if the sports world who watched Thursday Night Football last night learned one thing, it's that, you know, you got to protect your players. And that's, you know, unfortunately for Tua, that was a big hit that happened last night. But I think that's going to resonate all the way down to the grade school levels with what happened with that. And you got to protect your players and know when, hey, you're up big like this, let the younger guys get in there and save those guys.
Clock running at 4:45 and counting. 3rd and short. We'll call it 3rd and 1 from the 40. They need the 39 for the line to gain. Adkins in the backfield with the quarterback, Parker. And the give to Adkins. A little counter right in the backfield. May have the first down. He had a little push right up the middle. Now, we look at the far side linesman, and he's marking him short, and that's 4th down.
And so is this linesman here. So, I mean, you're going to go for it here. This is what I call, you know, kind of that gray zone. It's not red zone. It's not punt. It's just, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go for it here and, you know, throw the ball down, see what Nola can do, see what kind of arm he has maybe. Or maybe not.
It's a hand, and it's to the young man we know, Davion McCoy.
I don't know where they got it.
I don't. It looked like on first glance that he had it, but both the line judge and the linesman coming in mark him short.
Well, I can tell you the coaching point for him in films tomorrow will be, hey, lower the shoulders, man. Get a little low. You're running too high up. You got to hit that hole nice and low, and then you'll fall forward for that first down. And we'll hold on to the football. And if think about it, they'd probably go into the locker room. And I think, honestly, I literally just saw Coach Bolden walk over to him and tell him the same exact thing. You're too high. Get low.
Well, right now, in all honesty, and I don't want to blame or put undue pressure or criticism on a young man, but right now, Davion McCoy, the only thing that's holding him back right now for more playing time is himself.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Kaler in at quarterback, and it's a run play for a few yards. Let's talk a little bit about some other things going on. Lakota West will improve to 6-0 in conference. They'll stay perfect. They'll be the only perfect team. Mason will fall to 5-1 in conference. And if computer points are an indication coming into this ball game, Lakota West will move up because Elder is going to take a tumble.
It'll be probably 1-2 Moeller Lakota West is what I'm predicting.
And coming into this, the 14th seed had been Colerain, and it's another run play, and good yards for the running back, and this is what we're talking about. So Hibbett with good yards again. Coming off that left flank, moves the chains for a first down. So the 14th seed had been Colerain. Middletown's the 15th seed. So no matter what, right now, as it currently stands, it looks like a GMC foe is who Lakota West will face in the first round of the playoffs.
And, you know, I know you and I were kind of talking about this earlier that I wanted to kind of preview some playoff matchups. In my mind, though, I kind of forgot that it's 16 teams make the playoffs now. So really the first round matchups, unless it's those, 8-9, those tight matchups there, really you got to look at it. Lakota West is probably going to win that first round game pretty handily. But right now, Geoff, I mean, with the way that Lakota West and the way that Moeller's playing, I mean, all roads lead back to that big matchup again. I mean, from what you and I saw last November, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, but right now, that's the path that these two teams are on, the top two teams in the region.
As for Mason coming into this ballgame, they were looking at the 8th place in the computer rankings as Greer's in motion, and looks like Hibbett again off that left side. And I got to tell you, I really like the young man's quick feet.
Yeah. He has quick feet. He hits the hole, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for Mason. And really for the Comets right now, looking at their schedule, they definitely have, it's not exactly the easiest of schedules. They still have Fairfield and Princeton left.
If the playoffs were set to start today, Mason would play Western Hills.
In Western Hills, that's a team it's a big school, and that's the reason they're a Division I school. But if you look at their schedule, and I did today, Western Hills plays really Division III and Division IV foes because that matches up better just with them, with their talent pool.
Motion on the Lakota West line. And the clock continues to move. So in some ways, the illegal procedure penalty actually kind of helps them out in kind of finishing up this ball game as we have 8 seconds left to go. We'll see if we get one more play off.
It looks like he's going to try to here, yeah.
Kaler hands Hibbett off the right side. Nice counter, and he runs for first down yardage as he is pushed out of bounds out towards the 20, and that's it. 37-7. What a second half for the number 2 team in the state.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's what you want to see. We talked about this game early on, that this was like that Ohio State-Iowa game when Iowa was that 5-1 team and they beat teams 21-14 or 10-7 or something like that. That's what I pictured this game as. And, in those games, you got to make the second half adjustments. Mason was throwing a lot at Lakota West, especially up front in the first half. Lakota West was able to find the adjustments they needed to make. They came out, and then they got a big play on special teams with the block punt. Malik Hartford with the big score on defense, and then the train just starts rolling down the tracks. And then, Trent Lloyd took over the second half, really, for Lakota West.
Let's give you a scoring rundown before we get to our play of the night, powered by Headlines. To start off the scoring with 6:19 left to go in the first, it was a Tyler Bond 45-yard field goal to make it 3-0. Then the score that ended up being the game winner came in the second with 11:11 left to go till halftime. It was a Mitch Bolden touchdown pass to Brendan Remy, one of his 2 touchdown receptions tonight. Point after is good, 10-0. Then after a Kai Woolfolk interception midway through the second, it was Nick Sailors with a 1-yard touchdown run off the right end. Point after is good, and we had a brand new ball game at 10-7 with just about 1:13 left to go in the ball game, and the tide had clearly shifted to the Comets. The second half, different story, and it was the Trent Lloyd show. He got things started with a big 49-yard catch and run down the near sideline. That set up the first touchdown of the half. It was a Lloyd 8-yard touchdown reception. Point after, no good, 16-7 with 9:37 left to go in the third. And then the floodgates opened with 14 seconds left to go in the third. Touchdown pass from Bolden to Gonzalez. Point after, good from 9 yards out, 23-7. And then it was a pick 6 on the next play from scrimmage by Malik Hartford. The point after, good. No time remaining in the third period, 30-7. And the clincher, the cherry on top, or if you will, the dagger. Another touchdown pass to Remy, his second of the night, and it was the fourth by Mitch Bolden. With 9:13 left to go in the game, point after is good. The final score, 37-7. Time now for our play of the night, powered by Headline Sportswear. This is a tough one. I'm glad that I went through it first because I tried to buy you a couple more minutes. Partner, what is your
I don't know. Oh, I want to go with that Mitch Bolden, the Remy touchdown there in the second quarter to make it 10-0. I also want to go with the Malik Hartford interception. I think I'm going to go with the Malik Hartford interception. That's where I'm leaning towards right now.
And that is our play of the night, powered by Headline Sportswear. And what a homecoming finish.
Yeah.
And honestly, in 24 game minutes ago, you had no idea how this game was going to go.
Toss-up.
It was a complete toss-up, and then it was Lakota West, the final 24 minutes, scoring 27 points.
Yeah. I mean, it was all them. I mean, hats off to the halftime adjustments that Coach Bolden and his staff made. Clearly worked. They were able to get their team fired up because they didn't quite look like Lakota West we've seen. And Mason was throwing a lot at them. I've got a prediction that Mason probably threw some stuff at them that I hadn't seen on film, which is what you're going to do in these type of games, right? And so you got to make adjustments off of that on the fly. And I think the protection of the offensive line, Lakota West, to figure that out, really saved them in the second half.
Well, what we saw in the second half was a little bit more run plays on either – it was more plays on end arounds, a little fly sweepers to Trent Lloyd, though we did see him run from the backfield a couple of times. But it was his ability to keep drives alive and honestly keep Mitch from getting hit.
Yeah.
Because that was the big difference between the first and the second half.
100%. You hit the nail on the head. Mitch, he took a big lick on that last touchdown to Remy there. But, I mean, honestly, that was a blindside blitz that they brought the house on. So you kind of got to expect that to somewhat happen there. But, again, another big dominant win by Lakota West as they move into a really, really, really big game for them. Probably one that might decide the league coming up against Fairfield.
Before we start thinking about wrapping it up, want to give credit to the defensive secondary for Lakota West. 2 interceptions tonight. They held Mason quarterbacks to just 1 completion for 8 yards tonight.
Yeah.
One.
And what's interesting, though, is how Mason was able to stay in the game with just 1 completion through, call it midway through the third quarter, let's say, okay? But, again, hats off to the defense. Again, it stepped up big time here, like Malik Hartford with the big, huge play that really turned the tide and really shifted that momentum gauge fully to Lakota West sideline. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a fun next couple of weeks here, partner. This is going to be interesting down the stretch.
Let's look ahead on the schedule for both teams as we close things out in September. For Mason, it gets harder after next week. And I say after because they have winless Sycamore next week. And then to close out the season, they got a little bit of a gauntlet, Fairfield at home, and then on the road at Princeton. Meanwhile, for Lakota West, they go on the road to Fairfield, and I believe that's their real last big hurdle to win the GMC this year for the 3rd straight year. Middletown on the road, and then senior night here 3 weeks from now against Coleraine.
Yeah. And again, I think you're right. Next week's game will be that last really, really big, tough hurdle that they need to get through in the league. And then, partner, it's on to the playoffs, man. And I'll tell you what, don't want to look too far forward, but with the way Moeller played tonight, you're going to look at the number 1 team Moeller, number 2 team Lakota West in Region 4.
And in the state, maybe.
And in the state, more than likely, yeah.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say you and I will have the game at Fairfield next week.
I hope so. I really do.
And I can't wait to see you for Week 8.
Absolutely. You too, man.
Thanks, partner. And again, the final here in this one tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 3 minutes. And a dominating second half, 27 unanswered points by the home team, the second-ranked team in the state, Lakota West, as they run away 37-7 here in this one. Lakota West on homecoming night improves to 7-0, alone and undefeated at the top of the GMC at 6-0. Mason falls to 5-2. Their 5-game winning streak comes to an end, and they are 5-2 overall. Thanks to our videographer tonight, Mike Ackley. And we'll see you next week in Fairfield, which should be a great one between Fairfield and Lakota West. For Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Good night from Beckett Ridge.